everyone and welcome to my channel. In this vlog, I'll be talking more in depth regarding a topic I prefaced in other vlogs. My love for writing, specifically my love for journaling. Let's define the word journal. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines the word journal as a record of experiences, ideas, or reflections kept regularly for private use. And of course, there's the definition of many others. And for me, a journal is an external product of the internal thoughts of one's being. Now that the word journal is defined, I have prepared 6 parts to discuss how I journal. Part 1. When did I start journaling? After watching several vlogs about journaling, I have concluded that I started around the age of 6. Admittedly, I didn't know the word journaling, but I was doing the activity. And these are the notebooks that serve as proof. I would ask older people to list down things I wanted to write about, and then copied it. Arguably, I would say these were art journals and not the typical journals that had a lot of words in it. And on behalf of my 6-year-old self, I'd like to explain how I conclude this as a journal, in the essence that I would write down the names of people I hold dearly, people that I had deemed as friends, and I would also have lists of things that I enjoyed, and a journal based on how we defined it and how other people also defined it. It could be understandable as to why I concluded that I have journaled since I was 6 years old. There are several artworks in this journal that I absolutely adore, and it's so amazing to me that I was able to accomplish them at such a young age. I could say that I have been journaling for almost 2 decades, 20 years. Part 2. How do I journal? I plan to make another vlog dedicated to explaining this, but for now, I'll keep things short. I journal in 4 different ways, and that leads us up to Part 3. Part 3. What kind of journals do I have? The 4 kinds of journals I have is the all-in-one journal, my devotional journal, my prayer journal, and the latest one, my art journal. I'll explain a little bit about each one. The all-in-one journal is simply the journal that I bring around a lot because it's in a very travel-friendly size, usually an A5. It's a combination of the other 3 in a sense. It has artworks, it has prayers, it has devotions, it has everything. It's when I cannot necessarily bring the other journals because it's quite heavy to have several different notebooks in your bag. The prayer journal is, of course, the journal where I write my prayers to God, where I talk to God, and it's not just a prayer journal in the sense that I only write down my prayers in a typical way, asking Lord for things. It's really a communication journal in the sense that I write to God about my day, about my feelings, and it's not just me asking for things, asking for forgiveness. It's me as if I were to be having a conversation with somebody really close, and it could be a conversation about anything. It could be a conversation about how I really love the weather today, or how I just recently watched an anime. My prayer journal is really a journal where I really talk to God. And then my devotional journal is when I am studying the Word of God, and I follow the acronym SOAP, which means Scripture, Observation, Application, and Prayer. It has helped me over the years. I was accustomed by it when I was 13, I believe, or earlier or older, but that's the acronym that I use when I do my devotional journals. And for my art journal, it's something that I currently just picked up last December of 2022, and ever since I've really enjoyed it. In my art journal, I simply express how I feel through art and words, so it's a combination of words and visuals. It could be really pretty, really sad, the art designs, and it's really fun. It gives me this sense of achievement that I'm able to express how I feel in a way that I feel understood. And my art journal is technically the one that I am publicly comfortable with sharing. The journals that I'm not comfortable sharing with other people are my devotional journal and my prayer journals. Of course, I believe that there are things there that I wrote down that would be helpful for other people, but I definitely do my best to pick and choose those things, so I can't necessarily allow people to just freely read those journals. But there are things that I have shared with people regarding the things that I have learned while doing my devotional journals, things that I have realized during my prayer journals. So I do share those tidbits, but not entirely the whole notebook. And so those are my 4 types of journals that I do. Part 4. What do I look for in a notebook to deem it as journal material? This is a little bit part of part 3 as well, as to what kind of journals I have in the sense of physical design. But in the aspect of what do I look for in a notebook is, first I look at the spine, because I have learned that I really do not like spiral spines, although I have a lot of notebooks, a lot of journals that have spiral spines, and that's why I can say that I really don't like them, because they have this, how do I put this? The term, I guess, is this thickness. I think people who know or have a lot of spiral notebooks will understand how like the metal components end up not going into the holes of the notebook, and it can get really annoying trying to realign the spine towards the hole. So I really don't like that, and it's because of that if I do have a notebook that has a spiral spine, I tend to thread the gaps in the holes, and I thread through them to make sure they don't get out of the holes, the notebook holes. And then of course next is the size. So usually my journals are A5 journals because they're easy to carry, easy to write on. My hands are quite small, so I don't really like big notebooks in the sense of length and height. When it comes to width, on the other note, I'm not that choosy regarding how many pages. I am more choosy in the sense of the page being a grid, ruled, dotted, or blank. I usually go for ruled and dotted notebooks because I'm comfortable with those. I have tried blank ones and I didn't necessarily love it as much. They have their perks. I have spent on notebooks. It could be on the inexpensive end, and then there's the expensive end. I'll admit that there are still journals that I haven't used because I think it's too pretty to use. I also have journals that were given to me. I have many of those because the people in my life really know that I love to write, and so I'm really grateful for those people who have donated into this lovely hobby of mine. Another aspect is bookmarks. So I love journals that have a thread where you can bookmark, because sometimes there are like parts of the journal that I want to go back to, or there are parts of the journal that I want to reread, or maybe there's a part of the journal that's just my favorite thing to read, my favorite thing to look at. So I love that there are bookmarks. I love journals that have a clasp or something that holds it together, like those rubbers. I really like those. I just like the process of opening a book with a little extra security, I guess. And then there's the bonus of having a compartment at the very back of a journal or at the start of a journal. I love that there are like pockets at the back or at the front where I could like put little things inside, little mementos. Those are really fun. Lastly, before I end this part, I also check if the cover is blank because I like personalizing or customizing my covers. So you will see that I have a lot of journals that I have personally designed over the years because I enjoy doing that. So that's another part of me that I love, where I can express my artistic and creative side through the cover of the journal as well. Part 5. Why do I journal? There are many reasons as to why I journal. One of them being the biggest reason I would believe is memory keeping. I love documenting my life, documenting the feelings, the events that go on. Really love that factor where I can just read things from the past and see things like milestones. There are certain thoughts that I thought I would never get over, like thoughts myself, talking about myself in a nicer way, in a more uplifting way. I'm also more encouraging as I write, and I just love the fact that these journals help me keep a record of who I was and who I still am. Another part is reflection. It really helps me as a person become more self-aware. Like maybe I wrote about somebody, like I was so mad. Reading that, it's so funny finding out like I'm not mad at them anymore. Being able to reflect and see that, oh, why was I mad about them in the first place? Why did I talk about this in the first place? It's so funny. And I'm just really glad to have this. It really helps me become more aware of how my brain works. And there's just so many reasons why I journal. It's sometimes my best friend when I don't necessarily have anyone to talk to. I just write it out. I just talk it out with my notebook and my pen and just express, and that sometimes that's okay. Sometimes I feel like I was heard, I was being listened to.
Part 6. What are other things I want to talk about?
Now we are at the end of this vlog, and I just want to have a few last remarks. I want to say how I do want to continue experimenting with journaling, and that's why I really want to get into bullet journaling, because I feel like it will really help me with keeping a track record of my habits, help me make better habits by, having a record of it, learning about myself, learning why I can't keep a habit, or I don't know, just have this boost of motivation to have more self-discipline. And I think that's the only journal type I haven't done, because I think I've done every type of journaling. I could be wrong. But yeah, that's the next type of journaling I want to get into. I hope you look forward to that, to me bullet journaling. Thank you for watching and listening to the very end. And if you guys were intrigued by how I talked about journaling, you can feel free to comment below more questions. You can also send them through my Instagram if you want to send it there, through a DM. I really don't mind. I really love talking about journaling, and I have a lot more to share. And if you guys want me to create a series about journaling, I'll definitely will. Even if you don't ask, I probably will, because I just want to talk about journaling because it really helps me a lot. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on the notification bell so you are notified of when the next vlog comes out. So yeah, bye!